Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Akin Fakbonda. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I won't take too much time because I have the slides taken. But I must say that Afenifere is a different organization. If Adebanjo gave us a free way to think and to articulate issues, I think we might be the only organization that meets every week without fail on any issue that catches our fancy. And we're using technology to meet. You don't have to meet physically. And we are very effective because we have minutes. What I'm going to talk about, Director of Research and Strategy, is work in progress. We are still debating. We met 2-3 days. The last 2-3 days, we are still meeting. So some of the things I will say, we are going to dot the I's and cross the T's eventually. Just to let you realize that the programs of Afenifere, we are refining it. This is a defining moment for us. With the passing away of our leader at this time, we are being revigorated now to do something much, much better in line with the founding father of the Afenifere organization. Next slide. Okay, I have a paper on it. 32 pages. I'm not going to, it's just to show the headline. Next slide. Nigeria, this is how it was. This is how it was. And, well, 1966, everything was truncated. Next slide. 1966, 68, 1970 was a defining moment. The kind of industry that Obasanjo put into his being to author 3 books. If you take the books, I had to read the books afresh in the last 2 weeks, even though I've had them for years. We are used to type in computer these days, but to be doing manuscript writing those days and to produce the quality of work, thinking about how Nigeria should be. The man, even in that, deserves applause. If you can, please. Just in brief, we know the years, Action Global used to have a card. How many parties now have card? They say when you are going to elections or going to court, you don't really have membership, but the discipline is there. Next slide. Where the mission is being stressed. Next slide. Things done under before 1966. Next. Since 1966, not just Western region, the whole country has been in decline. It's just a fact. The golden years of Nigeria was that 1954 to 1966. Since the class of the military on ICCs have been in charge, we have been gripped, we have been emasculated, and we are not making progress. Next slide. Well, I took accounts as research. I compiled 120 named industries that have folded up this period. Is it Leyland? Is it a building industry? Is it? So many of them. I have a list in my paper. Next slide. This is the book. I believe all these books ought to be reproduced by Afenifere because I know we don't read. And we celebrate that we are ignorant. You don't want to read. We shouldn't be celebrating that, oh, Nigerians don't read. If somebody takes time to put 400 pages of ideas on paper in 1966, during the war years, and said we don't want to read, we're just, I can't understand what kind of human beings we are, honestly. I can't understand. This book was purchased for 4 naira 50 kobo. I wrote the date, 26 January 1977, I bought this book during first act. Next slide. Okay, this, in fact, the one problem of Africa, need for ideological reappraisal, was lectures given University of Cape Coast. 3 consecutive weeks, I will give a lecture. How we could read this to really understand that we are just failing in all respects. Because we are not equipped, we are not learned. We have SAN, we have people with doctorate holders. Not just to read one book, your economics or biology. Be a wide, educated person on all subjects. This is what is missing. Next slide. Okay, the man did a painstaking study. Book 1, how we were. Book 2, the principles of how to run a modern government. And then book 3, what are the features of a suitable constitution? Next slide. Okay, the issue therefore was, what is the right, in fact, structure is important. We say, oh, let's say personnel, let's elect people. If you don't have a structure, how do you elect people into doing nothing? Structure is very important. Form is important. If you want to have good governance, there have to be rules. You have to know expectations. You have to know responsibilities. If you're not spelled out, you just run for election, you win, and then you call the accounts. How much is the balance? How much is this head? How much is this account? And then you start awarding contracts, and you do commissioning. Is that governance? It is not. This is why we missed it. Okay. Awolowo found out 4 principles if you want to set up a modern state. 4 principles. First one, if a country is unilingual, uninational, the constitution must be unitary. And there are examples. Countries that are just one culture, one language, they are the same people. Unitary. But even then, some countries, they are unilingual, uninational, they still adopt federal constitution. They still adopt federal constitution. Second slide. If a country is unilingual, bilingual, multilingual, with communities that have developed divergent views, like let's say the Middle Belt, for instance, they have many languages, but they are living different silos. You must organize the country on the basis of language, nationality. It must be federal constitution. Next slide. If the country is bilingual or multilingual, the country must be federal. Take Canada. They have French and they have English. It's the federal constitution to allow the French people to have their own rights in their own place and have the people to have their own rights. The next slide. And you'll be surprised. This was in 1966. If a country experiments with unity constitution, even though being bilingual and multilingual, multinational, the country must fail in the long run. Awolowo said so in 1967. And we can see now, USSR failed, Yugoslavia failed, Czechoslovakia failed. And Nigeria also, we are failing. Are we not failing? That's it. Next slide. Next slide. According to Awolowo's principles, these are the ethnic nationalities that form the building block of Nigeria, unless we are deceiving ourselves. The 36 states we carved out will never stand the test of time eventually. We're going to be fumbling and wobbling if we continue. These are the, no, please go back. These are the populations that are there. If you don't follow this prescription, we are still going to be patching and patching and patching and patching. Next slide. In doing research, next slide. Yeah. I found out census, the greatest cheating of ourselves. We just had 33%. Every state, 3% of the previous census, add it to it, then you have a new figure. 3% of the existing number, you add it to it. So 103% becomes the population in 2006, in 1991, and 2018. The figure we have now, all the states just added 3%, 3%, 3%, 3% flat. This is how we got our 185 million people. It's all mathematical computations. It's not based on anything on reality on ground at all. I checked it out, get the figure of the various years, and just for each state, just add 3%, you get the new figure. 3%, you get the new figure. That's how it is. When you see me and say, we know we are 250 million. Is that not a joke? Next slide. So I will add 10 stipulations if you want to run good government. And all the attempts are there. Federalism, regional autonomy, parliamentary system of government. The book, my paper contains extras of all these things. But these are the 10 principles that must guide you to set up a foundation for a modern state where everybody will feel respected, will feel worthy, everybody can contribute, no cheating of anybody. Next slide. So these are the books. Detailed particularizations and justifications are in those books. I wish Afenifere would take it upon itself. At least these two books, they are not so, just under 200 pages each. If they produce it, raise money to give people to read. We must do reading, not just to read stories and poetry and all that. These are serious books to be read. We need to popularize these two books. My recommendation. Next slide. So, call for action now. What does Afenifere do now? Awolowo has gone. Adebanjo has also gone. Afenifere now ought to be on the forefront. As I said, my presentation as director of research is to keep debating among ourselves. About 20 of us, oftentimes, we meet every week to fashion out what we think, how Nigeria should be. So, we have to keep pushing for this idea. Next slide. And this map, we are supposed to have Western region, Midwest, Eastern region. We're supposed to have COR state. We're supposed to have Middle Belt region, but it was truncated by the military. If you study very well, this is a proposal. It doesn't mean it's been approved. It's for people to discuss. If you really want to run a regional system, and each region will be a federation also, not unitary. It will be a federation. It's what to be considered. Even Afenifere, we are still thinking about it to do boundaries and all that. But we have to do something like that. We have to apply intellect to what we are doing. We can't just do things anyhow. Of course, everything will be based on having a referendum for people to agree on what they want. People might want 12 states, might want 30 states, but not 30 states. Because we are owing 144 trillion now. There is no money to run 36 states and 774 local governments. We have to contract unless we are cheating ourselves. Next slide. Well, if we are to apply the same principle to, let's say, Western region, other regions will do the same. I've done the research. There are 26 subnationalities in Yoruba land. Ijebu, Egba, Ijesha, Ondo, Ekiti, Elaje. Those ones are qualified to be subnationalities to be on their own. Yeah. Again, this is products of, we just have to think. You can't just be static. We have to think and apply solutions to our problems. If we are to be in Western region again, we will not create just states anyhow. This will be given their own identity, even within Western region, so that there will be no need to say, Ijebu is cheating Egba, Egba is cheating Ekiti. No. At any level, we don't want to cheat anybody. But each language unit is homogeneous. I'm Ijesha, for instance. We have no problem among Ijeshas. Ekitis have no problem among themselves. Ijebus have no problem among themselves. Egba is the same. So it's easier to manage if we change the configuration to reflect who we really are, the nuance of differences of attitude, even food, even dressing in Yoruba land, need to be accounted for. The same thing in Eastern region, the same thing in the South, the same thing everywhere else. We need to put our thinking cap. Just not to keep complaining and saying the country is bad, country is bad. We are not ready to think solutions. Indication now, relay race, the baton has dropped. Awolowo tried to do something, the baton dropped. Again now, Adebanjo is gone. Are we holding the baton of pushing for change, or we let the baton drop from our hands? And if it drops, of course, you lose the race if you drop the baton. Is that not true? Next one. So the promise of freedom for all, life more abundant as a read us since 1966. We are marooned under the yoke of unity constitution. Election now is already here. So next year now election, this year election. We have 2-3 years now where nothing will happen in Nigeria again. That's terrible. That's terrible. And there's still time. Even between now and December, we can still, there are draft documents. Within 3 months, you can, if you agree, you can change a new constitution before the end of this year and let the next election be based on a proper, understood constitution. It's possible if you put our minds to it. Next slide. So, an experiment with unity constitution in a bilingual, I'm just stating the same thing that we have said. Nigeria is failing, it is unraveling. Next slide. So, Afenifere now has to start a new fight. Awolowo stood for over a 3-year period, burning candle to specify what is right for Nigeria if we are to be good. During the war years, Civil War year, then it was thinking. So, we can only bring his memory alive if we renew our strength, our vigor now. We can't wait 2, 3, 4, 5 more years, turn by turn. 8 years of Yoruba turn, another 8 years of, I don't know whose turn it will be next time. Can we really, are we really serious? I don't think so. Next one. So, as director of research, there's a document. It's not yet been discussed thoroughly in Afenifere, but Afenifere is to generate ideas for the country. That's what I see my role. We have to generate ideas. We have to debate it more. There's a draft now, a bill. What we have now is Decree 24 of 1966. It's an annex. It's an attachment. You can change the cover again and say, remove the annex and put a new annex. If you agree on what the form of the new constitution will be, there's a draft bill to that effect, and there's a draft constitution to that effect too. If you are willing to just remove the phobia from our lives, just embrace change and be open to progress, rather than just say it's witchcraft, it's the enemy. You know? It's not the enemy. We are our own enemies. The draft is there. So this old man is gone. Next one. The fight for a truly federal Nigeria should begin anew. Whether we do meeting like this, my leader said we'll do every year remembrance like this. We need to do something now to translate what Awolowo postulated and what he himself fought for. I know what he went through, trying to stand by principle It's not very to stand alone when others are doing other things. It's not easy at all. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So, Adebanjo is gone. His memory is for us to start fighting from today. And all the people are here. All the nationalities that are here. All Nigerians are here. Should we continue the way we are now? Or should we harmonize our thoughts? Should we do something in computer science where I am now? You do version 1. You don't solve computer program at once. No. But you don't wait because I say problem virus. You do version 1. Then you do version 2. Version 3. You have many versions. And each one is improving. But we are stuck in 1999. They now brought 39 amendments. 39 at once. It looks like a joke to me. Next. So, Afenifere wants to change Nigeria. We are a think tank. We'll be thinking and be bringing ideas to the country. I commend it to all of you. Thank you very much.
Another